Because there's a lot of dogs that would rather stay with their abusive dog owner. There's a lot of dogs that will attack anyone. So not having some kind of judgment in you, or being judgmental, that's bad. Especially for dogs, when it tarnishes their delusional reputation. And even their handlers cannot control these things. And according to leading animal behaviorists, in the U.S. since '05 to 13, there has been nearly over 33,000 dog bites due to police canine intervention, resulting trips to the emergency room. Police dogs bite and associated injuries that have also been increasing in Canada. The RCMP logged 291 canine bites in 2010. However, beginning in 2015, the numbers would increase to over 400 each subsequent week, totaling 2,152 dog bites through 2019. For something that's supposed to be a symbol of good and all that stuff, they surely are very destructive. They sure are very lethal. Yeah, and they also add in December the 14th, a 5-year-old elementary student, Samuel Berland School, was bitten in the face by a Winnipeg police service dog while the canine unit was visiting the school. The injury sustained the child required stitching of plastic surgeon and resulted in a knocked out tooth. The beloved police dog, aka the canine, attacking a 5-year-old in an elementary school. A lot of dog nutters. They are no doubt they are rude, they're reckless, they are vile people, and a lot of them are racist. A lot of dog nutters are racist people, and they will even play the race card in this. If it's a certain typical race of a child, and a dog attacks them, these dog nutters will justify and praise the dog. It should not be surprising that dog lovers are rude, reckless, vile people, and this should be common sense. But we live in a society. Where dog nuttery, dog owners, dogs, they all get a pass. They all get ignored. No one wants to call up. No one wants to make notice of how reckless, vile, and rude these dog owners are. No one wants to take notice on how racist these dog owners are. And that's why this dog culture is in the state that it's in. It's in a disgusting, vile, dysfunctional state. A lot of mental illness, a lot of problems, but it's ignored. It is ignored. There's a quote of ignoring things. Ignoring things makes things bigger. Something like that. I don't know. Ignoring the little things, they become big problems. If you ignore little things, they become big problems. Learning to ignore things is one of the great paths to inner peace. So some benefits of ignoring things, but in dog culture, when you ignore things, they become such big problems. They become very big problems. So big, and in terms of dog culture, They're so big that you don't even want to mention it. Like you don't want to mention anything in dog class. It's so big, it's so stupid, it's so vile, it's so dangerous that you don't even. It's just too big. A lot of dog nutters know this dog culture is way too big. So that's why they don't even bother say anything. They want to let it keep happening because they know dogs and these dog owners will get a pass. People will mention it and then they ignore it and ignore it and ignore it. And again, we have this dog culture that we have today, which is so vile, very vile. Yeah, so again, it's mostly men that are bite victims by police dogs. And they say it's non-whites that are a bit more often than whites. I wouldn't be surprised if these police play the race card as well. But that's dog culture for you. That is dog culture. I think the more of a dog nutter you are, I think the more racist, the more vile and the rude you are. That's just me. You know these dog nutters will worship and be happy when their dog attacks specific races of people. Even though they're happy when they attack anyone. But they're really happy when their dog attacks a specific race of people because these people are racist. These people are just disgusting people. In this video, we have a police dog with its dog nut handler. And you're going to see that how disgusting these people are. They're still going to allow this nasty dog to put its disgusting, filthy body on the counter where people receive and eat food, let alone allowing this thing off leash into a restaurant. So it doesn't matter if you're a canine handler, police officer, whatever, you're still a dog nutter. You're not dog nutter proof, if that makes sense. But that's enough of that. Let's see what I'm talking about. Again, and I think you notice these things move around too much. Like it just moves around too much. And that's one thing that makes me so uncomfortable with these things. Always moving. Always moving. Just calm down. Like we always moving for, man. See, on the counter, people eat. People receive food. And this dog nut ain't saying anything. And these dog nuts are praising this thing. If you can see the likes and dislikes ratio. Look at this. Do you not see that? This thing, nasty saliva, is licking on the food, and that food is going on the counter. That is cross-contamination. Its nasty paws are on the thing. Eating out of a cup. I bet they still reuse that cup for people. The thing is licking. Dude, I'm not making this up, people. These dog nutters are disgusting. They're disgusting. Favorite treat for what? For biting people? Dogs don't know the difference between treat and food. They just see food as just food. These dog nuts will give these dogs treats for just sitting there. Give it treats. Because your dog's a dumb piece of garbage. That's you gotta keep giving it treats. It's probably why these things always have to move like this. Why is it always moving like this, man? Relax yourself. That being said, the other day, I walked in some dog shit. Or the dog shit came to me. Long story short, coaching basketball, teaching basketball to the youth. And a dog nut walks into the gym with this worthless mutt. It was like one of those worthless husky dogs. And just like this dog, but even worse, that thing was moving around too much. It was moving around far too much. Just moving, jittery moving. You don't see that with other natural animals. Only with dogs. And just by looking at this thing, you can see in real life. Again, I don't see a lot of dogs in real life. From time to time, driving, but without being in it with a screen in front of me. Like literally 20 feet apart. I can see how brain damaged, how much of a brain damaged mutant that this dog is. Always moving. Thing could barely even walk on the gym floor. You can see, I saw 20 feet away from me, how brain damaged that these dogs are. And I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. Looking at this brain damaged mutant moving around like I don't know why. I really don't know why. But yeah, things we gotta go through. All right, I'm gonna talk a lot less in this video. I hope I can talk a lot less and let these videos talk for me. Here is a good example of sorry, got to go through these ads. Unfortunately, ad blocker doesn't work on YouTube anymore. This is a police dog attacking an unarmed man.
Body cam video and the investigation into what it shows. A police dog attacking an unarmed black man as he was trying to surrender. And what now? We want to warn you, of course, that some of the video you're about to see is tough to watch. So ABC's Alex Brachet joins us now with more. Good morning to you, Alex.
Good morning, Gio. Yes, this video is tough to watch, and it's raising some big questions about use of force and also jurisdiction.
Sorry, very off topic. This guy looks like if you guys seen the TV show Arrow, this guy looks like Curtis. This guy looks just like Curtis.
When multiple law enforcement agencies respond to a scene.
This morning, growing outrage over this police body camera footage showing an officer releasing a canine to attack an unarmed black driver surrendering after a highway chase. It happened about an hour and a half south of Columbus. Officers tried to pull Jadarius Rose over for a missing rear mud flap. The 23-year-old refused, starting a chase. Rose at one point stopping. Get out of the truck! And as officers ordered him out of the rig at gunpoint, he took off again. 7 minutes later in the video, police able to slow him down using spike strips. As Rose gets out of the cab, his hands in the air surrendering, a highway patrolman spots Circleville police officer Ryan Speakman approaching with his canine, warning Speakman not to use the dog.
Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog.
As Rose gets on his knees, Officer Speakman commands the dog to attack.
Get the dog off of it! Get the dog!
One officer seen covering her face as they work to pry the dog off of Rose's arm.
Nobody's trying to hurt you.
Just let a dog bite me.
All you had to do was stop, brother.
I did stop. I don't feel
20
safe.
miles ago.
That highway patrolman who...
See, it's no surprise that, again, they comes to dogs, they're going to say things to justify dog attacks. Yes, the guy didn't listen the first time, but then he did stop. He did surrender. He was on his knees. Hands were up. But yet, the dog nut handler still sent the dog to attack him. This lady looked appalled because she knew something just wasn't right. Something did not look right. So that's why she turned and acted like this. But then they go and they make their excuses.
Trying to hurt you.
Just let a dog bite me.
All you had to do was stop, brother.
I did stop. I don't feel
20
safe.
miles ago.
That highway patrolman who warned
See?
against using the canine later heard
Just
talking
excuses.
to colleagues.
Was that not loud enough?
You said it 3 or 4 more times.
If the officers feel that there is clearly a safety issue for the officers or citizens in the proximity, they may well use a dog. But the point being, you can't send a dog without getting into excessive force issues on somebody with their hands up.
Rose was given first aid and taken into custody. Circleville's police department tells ABC News.
See, they just want to see their dog attack people. And, there's that race card that can and may play a role in this. Next video.
They're about to bail. We're going into his property. Stand by.
Use the volume so it's staticky. So we have a canine being deployed on a suspect. The suspect surrenders, and guess what? The thing continues to maul him. Continues to maul him. Instead of getting the dog off the guy, they let the dog maul him. See? 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 Why would the guy stay still if he's being mauled? Basically, you can say being mauled to death by this worthless maul. See? Guy's in pain. This is on YouTube, mind you. See, and they're praising this. Stay still. Yeah, a cop saying stay still, stay still. This guy is getting mauled, pretty much mauled to death. And a good example of how vile these police dogs and their dog nut canine handlers are. Guess we can't use the race card for that situation.
Well, to South Pasadena now, where a national night out event backfired. A police dog bit a little boy, leaving him injured and bloody. But now the police department is under fire. And tonight, the boy's father is talking to us. But South Pasadena police are not. KCAL9's Jake Reiner has details and reaction.
A national night out, an evening intended to endear the public to police, had the opposite effect on the Forbes family.
I'd like an apology.
Josh Forbes' 5-year-old son, Sebastian, was enamored with the canine South Pasadena police had brought out to show off to the crowd. Sebastian took a few steps forward and then retreated, but all of a sudden, seemingly unprovoked.
And before I could even get a chance to step back in the line, the dog went for me.
Somehow he
The dog went for the child. Not a criminal. Didn't steal no 5-cent gum. Just at some national night out event. Dog went for him.
He locked eyes on Sebastian. He didn't like the look of him or something, and the dog just went straight for him and jumped on his face and was biting him and had him.
Yeah, the dog jumped on him.
Pinned to the ground.
Josh and the canine's handler were able to pull the dog off Sebastian fairly quickly, and paramedics who were already on scene for the event tended to Sebastian in the ambulance.
There was like blood streaming down his head, and it's pretty scary.
Those are the sounds dog nuts don't want to hear. They don't want to hear children crying because they've been attacked by a dog. They don't want to hear that. So what they're going to do is cover their ears, cover their eyes, and act as if they actually watched this and act like they care, when in reality they don't care. They care about the safety of the dog.
Scary.
Sebastian was then rushed to the hospital. He had a bite mark on his ear and needed stitches near his eye.
Cut was so close to his eye, they had to to give him ketamine to put him under.
According to Josh, he hasn't received much of anything in the way of remorse or an explanation from police other than a call from them Wednesday asking how Sebastian was doing. Josh says there has been no apology nor an admission of guilt.
I was told, hey, you know, this is an accident. Accidents happen. Calm down. Yeah, I just want to make sure it doesn't happen again. It's
typical dog nutters. This guy made a good point here. If your dog did that to an officer, it would have been shot to death on the spot, which is 100% true. But imagine if a police dog was attacking you, a bystander, innocent bystander, and you decide to take out your Glock and shoot that thing right in the head, in the face, in the belly. I think there would be an entirely different headline. The guy shooting would have been crucified. They would have thrown stones at him, would have locked him in prison. But it's again, these dogs get a pass. They're protected no matter what. No matter what you do, even if you are the one defending yourself, you know, and we all know you clearly did nothing, and this police dog went after you to attack you, you decide to defend yourself, to kill and shoot that dog, you as a defender would still be crucified and persecuted for defending yourself against a dog. We live in a dog nutter society where these dogs are protected. They are vastly protected. I already
5-year-old Sebastian Forbes.
This already.
I spoke to the family's attorney, Drew Martin, by phone late this afternoon. He told me, quote, the family is concerned the police department is minimizing this. Not only is the child still in the hospital, but he hasn't walked since he got to the hospital. These were not minor injuries. Pro Police Officer Chris Piku and his dog Splinter are under investigation. Splinter is a Belgian Malinois owned by the Pearl Police Department. Sunday, he escaped from the backyard of his handler, Chris Piku. A few short minutes later, he bit a 5-year-old boy in the legs.
He is still in the hospital. We spoke with mother earlier today.
Piku let Splinter out of his kennel, and then Piku went inside his house. That's when Splinter crawled under a 6-foot wooden fence gate just like this one. Pearl Police say Piku found the dog shortly after and didn't know Splinter bit anyone until a neighbor pointed it out.
Officer went to the door of the home and knocked on the door and said, hey, I understand my dog may have just bit your child. Can you tell me anything? And the mother responded that she was unaware that the child had been bitten and that the child was actually fine and was on the couch watching TV.
The dog Splinter is currently under a 10-day quarantine, according to
what did it say?
Pearl PD.
I understand my dog may have just bit your child. Can you tell me anything? And the mother responded that she was unaware that the child had been bitten and that the child was actually fine and was on the couch watching TV.
The dog Splinter is currently under a 10-day quarantine, according to Pearl PD, though. When he does get out, he will go back to the trainers in Louisiana who will have to give him, quote, a refresher course. Police.
See, these dogs get a pass. They get this 10-day quarantine, which is pretty much them doing nothing. It's just like them being anywhere for 10 days. So it's pretty much nothing. So these things, you know, can escape their handler's home and attack people. And again, there's that saying that dogs don't judge, which is horrible. I think it's horrible that dogs don't judge people, because we have a situation, dog escapes, sees a child and decides to bite the child for no reason. You're the one escaping and going to people's property, biting people. So dogs not being able to judge is a horrible thing. It's not something to be proud of. We have too many innocent people being killed and bitten by dogs, and people are rejoicing that dogs don't judge. That doesn't make sense. That's why a lot of dogs get put down, is because they don't judge. Attacking every single person, the owner, the owner's children, people in school, attacking everyone for no reason. And people
police-
want to rejoice that dogs don't judge. That's dumb. That is what's getting dogs killed, is because they don't judge. They attack volunteer workers. They're trying to help them. They're foster nutters. They attack them. Not judging is what's getting these dogs killed.
This dog attacks a neighborhood kid, leaving that boy badly injured.
The family made the decision to only talk with Fox 9's Courtney Godfrey, and she's joining us now. And so, Courtney, this dog and the canine officer he was paired with were new to the force.
Yeah, this police dog had only been on the job a few days. His handler also new to the canine assignment. And tonight, the family of the boy that was attacked say the dog is still living a few doors down.
He just heard her voice say, "Bubba, no." And then Bubba stopped for a moment, and then Bubba did what Bubba does.
These are the hands of a 13-year-old boy attacked by an Anoka County Sheriff's canine while playing basketball in his driveway Friday night.
You would never think, but I'd also never think that the dog would be over there by itself, unleashed.
The teen's father, Sean Martin, says the dog was unleashed in the front yard 2 doors down when something sent the dog racing towards his son, latching onto his hand. Sent the dog racing towards his son, front yard 2 doors down, when something sent the dog racing towards his son.
Dog just comes out. The dog goes after a child.
Onto his hand.
The dog was not letting go.
The dog's handler, Anoka County Deputy Ann Jeske, rushing over.
She had the dog straddled, and she was attempting to get the dog to release.
According to a social media post, Bubba and Deputy Jeske had recently graduated from training.
It just goes to show that this training nonsense that these dogs go to and graduating, it means nothing. It means nothing when this dog can see someone and just go on and to attack them for no reason. So this graduating crap, this training crap is useless. It's just as worthless as dogs are worthless.
Were assigned to apprehension and narcotics detection only a few days when the attack occurred. And narcotics detection only a few days when the attack occurred. Martin says they were told the dog is now back at the house, but no one in the neighborhood was alerted by authorities of the bite or that the dog was back.
I think Bubba needs more training, or Bubba needs to find a new job.
The Anoka County
dog nutter. That is a dog nutter. What you should say is all dogs should be banned. Police dogs are worthless. They're just as dangerous as any other dog. They may not be as fatal as the pit bull, but they're still dangerous and have the capabilities of actually killing a person and even killing a child. But instead, this guy wants to be passive and wants to, protect these things. And what does that do? It gets children like your son attacked. These dog nutters are the worst. They are the worst.
Tonight, an original report. A case of alleged mistaken identity by a Gary police dog. Now, this video is grainy, but according to the father of 5, the attack was vicious. And the man's lawyer accuses police of poor training. CBS 2's Dorothy Tucker talks with the victim.
Antoine Scott walks with a limp these days. He's recovering from a vicious attack, he says, by a Gary police canine who mistook him for a criminal.
That's one of the police cars right there. They're chasing the subject.
It happened at the Go-Low gas station in Gary, October 12th, around 9 p.m. Scott was at pump number 6 getting gas when he says he saw Gary police cars and heard an officer say,
"Hey, you better stop effing running. We about to let the dogs out on you." That's when I seen the dog.
And when the dog grabbed Scott's leg,
he wouldn't let me go. The police officer kept giving him.
Did this look like a guy that was running? This guy is filling up his gas. He's filling up his car. Police dog goes on to attack him. You can't be in your own yard. can't be minding your own business, can't have a good night out at an event without these dogs attacking. These things go to training and they graduate from these training schools or whatever, but they still go on attacking innocent people. So all this training and this graduating it's dumb. Just a delusion for these dog nutters.
He wouldn't let me go. The police officer kept giving him commands to let me go, and the dog wouldn't let me go for nothing.
Scott is eventually dragged to the ground, and the dog.
I'm guessing this dog might have cheated on its test to have graduated to be on the field doing such a thing.
Dog still hangs on.
Yeah, I was in pain that whole time right there. That's the worst pain I ever felt in my whole life.
Scott says he is still in pain.
All these little spots, his teeth was just digging in my skin.
When Scott is finally free, men and women who appear to be officers come to Scott's aid.
How the dog end up attacking you and not the right person?
This day excuse